guys, so today I am here to talk about infertility. It is Infertility Awareness Week. I am here in my Stork OTC t-shirt, and we are going to talk about infertility and the tools that I use to make me feel more empowered and less helpless. So if you are new to my channel, let me give you a brief synopsis of our infertility journey. It actually is a secondary infertility journey. We were able to get pregnant with our 2 daughters, and a pregnancy that came before our daughters that ended in a second trimester miscarriage. So I spent the better part of 3 years pregnant. We got pregnant in 2005 with our twins that we lost at 16 weeks. And then we got pregnant with Natalie in 2006 and Katie in 2007. After Katie was born, we decided to take a break from having babies because that was a lot of time for me to be pregnant, and it was a lot to handle 2 under 2. So I got an IUD. I got the Paragard copper IUD. It had no hormones. I thought that was a really good idea because I didn't want hormones up inside my uterus. And in 2011, we decided that we were ready to have another baby. We had the IUD pulled, and in May, we started trying for baby number 3. May of 2011. It is now nearly May of 2017, and we still don't have our baby. I have been tentatively diagnosed with PCOS, even though I have no cysts on my ovaries, even though I had no issues getting pregnant with my daughters, even though I was the same weight when I got pregnant with my daughters, even though at this weight I had incredibly regular periods until after I got my IUD pulled. So I don't know if I actually have PCOS, if I had some kind of reaction to the Paragard. I don't know. I don't know what the reason is. My cycles are incredibly long, but I do ovulate most cycles. Because my cycles can go extremely long, the longest has been 69 days, I have only had 58 cycles in 6 years. So obviously it should be 72 cycles instead of 58 cycles. 6 times 12 is 72, yes? Okay. And so I have had considerably less opportunities conceiving than someone else who has been conceiving for the same 6-year stretch, just because my cycles do not go 28 to 30 days like most people's do. Out of all of those cycles, I think 3 of them were in ovulatory, where I did not ovulate at all. So the bulk of that time, I had the chance to get pregnant. I have had 3 miscarriages, 2 in 2012 and 1 in 2014. But other than that, I don't know what's going on. The reason I lost my twins is because I have a genetic mutation called MTHFR gene mutation, and it causes clots in the placenta. So that would not cause the early miscarriages that I had in 2012 and 2014. I don't know what caused those. My doctor didn't do any tests. She won't run any hormone tests. That's why we don't know for sure if I have PCOS. She will not test my hormones. She ordered a transvaginal ultrasound, which showed no cysts, and she won't check my progesterone. She won't check my estrogen. She won't check my testosterone. She won't do an LH test. She won't do anything for me. She says that I have to go to a reproductive endocrinologist, which my insurance doesn't cover. So we're not doing that. We're only doing what we can afford to do within the scope of our insurance and in the scope of, whatever money we have left at the end of the month, which isn't much. Because we have 2 beautiful girls, we've not gone the infertility route. I get that question a lot. Why haven't you done IVF? I haven't done IVF because I don't have an extra $15,000 sitting around just willy-nilly, and I do have 2 beautiful girls. So if I never have another baby, I'm still blessed with the 2 that I have. But do you ever have that feeling in your heart that your family is just not done? That's how I feel. That's how I have felt for all of these years, and that's why I can't give up my journey. So having said that, 6 years of negative pregnancy tests, the good majority of the time, how do you keep doing it? It's another question I get asked a lot. How do you keep doing this cycle after cycle? Now, I'm not going to lie and say it's always been easy. It hasn't. It to this day can still be depressing when my period starts. It used to take a really big toll on me back when we first started TTC. The first 2 years, we didn't do anything because we got pregnant with our girls fairly quickly, 4 months with each of them. So we didn't do anything, at least the first year. We just had sex, and the only thing I kept track of is when I started my period. And then after that, I started going back into the temping and OPKs and using my saliva microscope and obsessing and symptom spotting every single cycle, getting my hopes up every single cycle, thinking I saw lines that weren't there every single cycle. The phantom line, the line eye, that if you've been doing this for a while, you know what I'm talking about. And of course, my husband never sees anything unless it's a digital that says pregnant on it. So he was of no help in this situation. And there weren't too many communities out there. There were things like 2weekwait.com, and those girls were very cliquish. And if you were not in their group, they would not even look at your tests. I like Countdown to Pregnancy because you can just put your picture up there anonymously and people vote on whether or not they see anything. So that way people can be brutally honest without actually being mean. So that's neat. But, you know, until I started YouTube, this is one of the things that has really empowered me because there's such a community on here on YouTube. Not just of people who are also making videos, but people who watch the videos, people who are going through the same things, but maybe don't want to have their face and their story out there for the whole world to see. But you know what? They comment on my videos, or they email me, or they leave me messages on my Facebook page. And these are people that I have gotten to know over the year and a half I've been doing this. And I have seen some of them go on to get pregnant themselves, and I have been able to rejoice with them and their success. That is very empowering. And some of the other things that help me feel more in control and less helpless are the different tools I use. One of which, of course, is the Stork OTC. This has really changed my TT scene in the past 6 months that I have discovered this product. I have felt so much more secure and so much more in control of my fertility since I've discovered this product. I don't want to blow smoke up your butt. This is not a sales thing. This is not sponsored. I am a Stork ambassador because I love the product and I just like to talk about it. So I am a Stork ambassador because I like to share my views on it, my experiences with it. If you are interested in any of those, I'll put a thumbnail up here, I'll put a card up here, and I'll compile a playlist of Stork OTC things. I don't currently have one, but I will compile one before this video goes live. But things like OPKs, I used to not like these, and finally they have started working for me. So, but I buy the cheapies, the Wanfos, I buy all different kinds of OPKs. People send me OPKs to try. So I do OPKs. My tried and true ovulation detection method is my basal body thermometer. If you ask me questions about your ovulation, the first thing I will always say is, how are you tracking your ovulation? Are you temping to be sure that you actually did ovulate? Because OPKs will show you that you're surging, but they won't show you for sure that you ovulated. So I'm kind of a broken record when it comes to that, but temping really gives you an idea of what is going on with your body. If you are feeling a little lost about if you're ovulating or when you're ovulating, pick up a basal body thermometer. They are cheap. It is a one-time investment. It will work for years. It'll work for multiple pregnancies. And you can really get a good idea of where you are in your cycle. Now, the Stork OTC, you know, I don't know about you, but when it comes to trying to conceive, I've done all the things. I've done all of them, including the, you know, propping your bottom up on a whole bunch of pillows or keeping your legs up against the wall and all that stuff, because gravity is the enemy. You want to keep the sperm up near your cervix as long as possible. And some people can hop right out of bed and go about what they're doing and still get pregnant, and that's great. But those of us with infertility, we don't have that option, really, most of the time. We want to keep the sperm up there as long as possible. Whether or not there is a male fertility defect, whether male fertility is the problem. My husband's sperm is fine, but because my eggs don't release in a good amount of time, I want there to really be a good stock of sperm up in there. And I've been using a fertility monitor, and I think the pH in my vagina is quite high. So in using something like this, I can really bypass a lot of the pH in my vagina, so it's not killing the sperm ahead of time. So it's a really great tool. Let me pop this open, because if you've never seen this puppy, you don't know what I'm talking about. It is a cervical cap, so it's a cervical insemination device. There is a condom here so that you can use it with your significant other if you are a male-female partner. If you are two females, you don't want to do that, or if you are a single female getting pregnant on your own, you don't need that either. But if you are a male-woman couple and you are wanting to still keep the bedroom part of your TTC alive, if you still want to keep a little bit of the romance in there, you can use the condom that comes with this, with the cervical cap, and you can still make love to your spouse. With my husband and I, see that cervical cap is down in there, and then the condom goes on. This condom can be tricky. If you go to that playlist, you can see my tried and true way of really getting this condom up, because it's silicone and it kind of sticks to itself. But this is what you're looking for. This is where the sample goes. This is what goes in this fun little contraption that dropping it all. The fun little contraption that has a tampon delivery method to get this up to your cervix. It's like using a menstrual cup, but excellent placement. You're not losing sperm out of it. It is considerably more shallow than a menstrual cup. Hold on, I have one right here. Okay, so if you look at a menstrual cup versus the Stork OTC, the width of the rim is incredibly similar. This is a tad smaller, but just barely. But look at the depth, the difference. Okay, this holds it considerably closer to your cervix than this way down here. Your sample would be way down here as opposed to right here. There's a big difference in where it keeps it right next to your cervix. And you want it next to your cervix as long as possible. And you can keep this in up to 6 hours. So you can get up and go about what you're doing and not try to have your feet up on your butt up on 4 pillows and your feet against the wall kind of a thing. 6 hours, this will keep the sperm right at your cervix. So this is something that has really made me feel like I'm getting on top of this. I'm being proactive. I'm doing something that is going to make a big difference in my trying to conceive, because I am keeping the sperm where it needs to be. So if you want more information on the Stork OTC, like I said, I have a bunch of videos up there in the description box below. I'm going to have a link to the Stork website. They have videos and testimonials and facts and figures. I did do a Q&A and that had some of the facts and figures, but go to the Stork website, go and see what they're all about. It's awesome, and it's one of the ways that I have been able to make it 6 years without turning into a big pile of tears. This is a hard process. It is a tough process, and every time your period shows up, it is depressing. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. It doesn't matter if you've been trying to conceive for a month or if you've been trying to conceive for 10 years. When Aunt Flo shows up, it sucks. There's no way around it. It just is heartbreaking. And even now I get sad, and I try to be chipper about it. I try to be positive about it. Each month gives me a new chance for a new life, and let's do it better this time. Let's try something different this time. Let's try a different supplement. Let's try a sperm-friendly lube. You know, I can make it fun. I can find a way to make myself feel less helpless. And the Stork OTC is one of those ways that really makes me feel empowered in my journey to try to have another baby. And it's hard and it sucks, but it's worth it. And that's why I keep going. Well, I wish anyone out there who is having problems with infertility, who is struggling with this horrible, horrible thing, keep at it, keep going. I am here for you. If you ever need to talk, if you ever have any questions, if you ever just need to vent, I am here for you. I will listen to you. I will advise you any way you need. If I can, I will point you in the right direction. If I can't advise you, or if you just need an ear, I am here for you. We all need to be there for each other, because it's not something that we need to be embarrassed about. It's not our fault. It's not something that you specifically did wrong to have infertility. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. Let's get our voices heard. Let's open this up so people are aware of how many people are affected by infertility. Let's try to get those laws changed so more insurance covers IUI and IVF. Let's make people parents. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed yet and you would like to follow my journey, please hit that subscribe button down below, and I will catch you guys next time.